All right, let's get started looking at these ranked wide receivers. I've got 51 of them loaded up. So let's get started. My number one is going to be Mon St. Brown, right? He's cranking it up here. He's the number two in scoring. 13th at Cincinnati this week. Hey, he's going to be cranking it out. I got Jefferson, my number two, right? Justin Jefferson. Hey, he's only the 18th wide receiver on the year, right? Number 10 amount of touches. He's been steady on every game. They're mixing the quarterback in, getting used to Carson Wentz, but what a great game to get him up and going against the number 22 at Cleveland. That'd be smart to get him up and going. So I got Justin Jefferson number two for the week. How about my 3 and 4? I've got George Pickens. All right, George Pickens. Hey, he's the number 5 wide receiver right now in scoring, coming off that big last week with CD out. Pickens is going to be in, right? Pickens is going to be the guy. CD's out. So, hey, get him in there. Number 3, I'm not worried about Sauce Gardner at the Jets. He hasn't really been showing up that much this year. And, of course, on the other side in that game, I've got Garrett Wilson here, right? Hey, he's the number 7th in scoring. All right, we said, hey, Justin Fields might get laser locked in on him when the season started. We said, get on him. 3 touchdowns, 300 yards. He's going to be my number 4 wide receiver. Great schedule against Dallas at home. They'll be throwing to him. Get him in there. He's my number 4 wide receiver. My 5 and 6 here, I got JSN. All right, JSN's currently the 9th wide receiver. Man, he's been getting all the game in town. Cooper Kupp hasn't really been doing too much, right? And JSN's been, look at that, steady, right? You can see he's got the number 3 amount of targets so far for wide receivers. That's pretty good. Hey, kind of a tough game against Tampa, right? At home against Tampa, but hey, he's the guy. So get him in there. I got him number 5. Johnston, well, at some point you got to put him in there, right? He's the number 4 in scoring. Easy game, 21st one against at home against Washington. Now, how much are they going to have to use him? We don't know, but boy, he's just been scoring. Look at this, 8 targets again last week for him. So and 29 on the year. That's 13th in the league, right? At wide receiver with that amount of targets, he's been getting it. He's been the number 1. Let's switch it to look at those games, right? So I've got him number 6. Up next, I've got a lot of teams are on a bye this week. Get some of these guys propelled up the list a little bit, doesn't it? How about Ibuka? Ibuka's been doing great. Hey, we had him as our number 1 rookie, right? He's been taking care of that business, right? Look at that scoring. You can say, hey, he does have a very tough matchup at Seattle. A lot of others are hurting there too. I mean, hey, they're going to be laser locked. I mean, the defense should focus on him, but hey, what he's been getting there, you just got to. It's number 6 in scoring. Look at that average, 13. So you got to put him on there. Might have a tough matchup, but how about Cortland Sutton? Been kind of quietly moving up those ranks here, right? Had a bad week too, but the last 2 weeks have been great, right? They're finding him. Hey, he's got the middle of the road schedule at Philly, right? Denver, that'd be a good game. 5 targets last week. He's still getting the targets. 24 on the year. He could use a few more there, but hey, Cortland Sutton, we got him there. How about Worthy and Chase is my 9 and 10 to close out the top 10. Of course, Worthy came back last week. Hey, he's last week been you can see what he did last week, so he's gonna be back in the fold. Operating as the number 1 there, and they're at Jacksonville with an 18 schedule. Look for him to go this week, get him back on thing. How about Jamar Chase? Right? Can you believe he's down this low? He's the 22nd in scoring. Of course, ever since Joe Burrow went out, his games went down. You can see that. Wow, just hard to believe. He got the 7th most touches, so he's still getting some or targets. Hey, I don't know how close Browning's getting them to him. Those are targets. He's the number 10th ranked by the consensus. Hey, I'm going to go ahead and I got him 10th as well. I mean, hey, because who he is, and he can explode any minute. I can't believe they won't design some plays for him. But at home against Detroit, but that'd have been a bigger game if Jake Browning wasn't a quarterback, but hey, you can see what he's going to do. Hey, he's still got talent. Ja'Marr Chase, right? How about Keenan Allen? I went ahead and put him next, right? He's got he pretty easy schedule. Look at that. He's 14th in touches, and remember, down week last week. But hey, I've got no injury report on him or anything. He looks good. So I got Keenan Allen next. They might be passing some at home against Washington. And then I got Jakobi Meyers up next. Jakobi Meyers, it's his turn, right? Well, they got the at Indy, 29th easy schedule for at Indy, and they're going to be behind, right? So let's get Geno Smith up and going there. Hey, Jakobi Meyers up next. All right, up next we got Marvin Harrison Jr. and Nico Collins, right? Marvin Harrison Jr., let's get him off and get to Snide and get him going here. He had 6 touches last week. Nothing to help get yourself going with the 27th easy schedule home against Tennessee. So if they can get, maybe Kyler Murray can get him up and get him running, get him going. Get Marvin Harrison Jr., who's 24th on the year. Right? Only the 38th amount of touches. So, hey, he hasn't been doing too bad. I mean, hey, with what he's getting, you can see 2 touchdowns, 200 yards, but the 38th amount of touches, hey, that's, you got 20 on the year, that's 38th. Get him up and get him going this week, right? How about Nico Collins? They flashed him as limited here in practice, but if he gets up and gets going here, we got at Baltimore. Ain't nothing about the Houston offense has been easy. C.J. Stroud. That's 200 yards a game passing. 1 touchdown. Just terrible. Houston's just been terrible. Hopefully Woody Marks here can get him up and going. Hey, at Baltimore, you got to put Nico Collins in next. They're going to be throwing and they're going to be behind. Baltimore's going to try to get right. So, hey, look out. But, hey, you got to put Nico on there. Up next, 15th and 16th, I got Michael Pittman. All right. Well, he is questionable too. So, hey, a hamstring, questionable. So check him out first. But if he plays, hey, that's a nice matchup here against Vegas. 31st easy schedule against Vegas. We'll see. You're going to have to find out about that injury beforehand. But if he's all system go, hey, he's currently the 15th number in scoring here at wide receiver on the 29th amount of touches. So, hey, he's been doing good. How about Deebo Samuel? All right, I think he's questionable too. I've moved them both down because they're questionable. Hey, he's heel, questionable for the Charger game. But, hey, that's what they got here, right? If, Terry McLaurin, he's out. We got Deebo Samuel. Noah Brown's hurting. They brought this Jalen Lane on a little bit. Been trying to come on, but it's Deebo if they're going to put him in any kind of thing, and it's tough schedule though. That's why he's down here, ranked. He's 13th in the scoring, yet this is a down week too, and he's 16th in the ranking because of the tough matchups here. How about Zay Flowers? Right, he's currently the number 20th wide receiver. Got off to a great start, been slowing down a little bit. Hey, things are going to be different with Lamar out, right? Cooper Rush. Ugh. And hey, that's about the 9th schedule with Houston. Maybe that's going to be a low-scoring running affair. But, hey, at some point, just 20th ranked, 9th in touches. You're going to have to get Zay Flowers in there. Maybe they'll design some stuff for him. But anyway, 17th ranked. Wan'Dale Robinson here. He's currently the 30th in scoring. Easy schedule at New Orleans for the new rookie quarterback. Jackson Dart's going to be in there. Of course, Malik Neighbors is out, and that's why he's ranked there. Of course, I got Slayton a little lower on the list here, but look, he'll be in there too. Right here at 18, I got Wan'Dale. Right, he's been on down a little bit, but you can see here on touches, he's been getting 22 touches. He gets the touches. They're going to have to try to mount some. And that's a nice, easy schedule for Wan'Dale. How about Chris Olave and Addison? We're down here to 19 and 20. Got a lot of wide receivers off this week, right? How about Chris Olave? Hey, gosh dang, he's the number 2 in touches, right? Number 2 got off a little bit more, got a touchdown last week. But, hey, nice, easy schedule at home. He's got the number 2 amount of possession. You got to get Chris Olave. He's got to, only 3 last week, but, and Rashid came on a little bit more. But get Chris Olave in there. Nice, easy home game. Right? Got to like that. How about Jordan Addison? He's back. Yes, he scored last week, 114 yards receiving in 1 week. Right? Well, and they got a nice, easy schedule at Cleveland. So Jordan Addison's back. They'll get up and running there. Maybe the run game, I have a little harder time there, right? That's a tough run game for them. Jordan Mason, that's the 3rd schedule. So they'll be passing. That means, of course, Jefferson and Addison, right? So get them in here. That's the top 20. Now, here's where it starts getting, everybody can rank the top 20. Those are going to be nice ones. You got to play them. But here's where we're at. Brian Thomas Jr. Should he be in your lineup this week? Number 7 schedule, that's bad. And home against Kansas City. But you see, he just hasn't been, but he's been getting some touches. He's got number 15th in touches. Hey, that's going to be the offense. I mean, hey, you got to put him in there. I got him ranked 21st. How about Shakir? Shakir sneaking up here, bye week. You need someone who's been doing it. Well, look at these last 2 weeks. Maybe get Shakir in there. Nice, easy schedule against New England at home. Hey, Shakir, you get him in there. I got Coleman here just a couple spots later. But, hey, Shakir there might be fun. How about Trey Tucker and Tet McMillan here at 23 and 4? All right, hey, you got Trey. Hey, maybe Tucker's time again here. Get him back in there. Get him some long balls. Easy schedule. They're going to be behind, right, at Indy. All right, so maybe he gets back going again this week. Hey, look at that. He does have the 24th amount of touches. So he's been getting some, and they're going to be behind. Geno's going to have to throw. So him and Jacoby Myers going to be getting lit up here. I think they're going to have a good game. All right, Trey Tucker. How about Tet McMillan here? Oof, hey, maybe he can get going. Of course, Hubbard might be out there. So, hey, middle of the road schedule, home against Miami. Get him up and get him going here. I got him ranked 24th. That'd be right at the borderline if you got 10 in your league. How about Ayamanor and Keenan Coleman? Ayamanor, a little disappointing. Only 2 touches last week, right? Hey, here he is. He's got the 2 weeks prior, he'd been doing pretty good. But, hey, Ridley's hurt a little bit, questionable. His game's been questionable. So, hey, it's going to be, they're a tough matchup on the road at Arizona. Ayamanor's really the only game in town right now. So, you got to put him on there. I got him ranked 25th, Keenan Coleman. Hey, he's doing great too. Easy schedule at home, but, comes in here with just Shakir too. How much are they going to need to be passing? I think Buffalo's going to take control of that game pretty easy. And James Cook, Shakir. I mean, hey, there's a lot of mouths to feed there, let alone Palmer. About time he get going here, right? So, hey, Keenan Coleman, I got him here at 26. I mean, hey, that's a good team, good schedule. So if you need him, get him in there, 26th. How about Rashid Shaheed here, right? Hey, currently 44th. Had 6 touches last week, though. Right, coming on a little bit more. You can see he's been scoring. Hey, there, easy home game against the Giants, right? So if you need a filler, Rashid Shaheed, and he's probably available in your league, right? So, hey, he might be a good one to put in there in spot duty. Nice, easy home game schedule against the Giants, right? How about Malik Washington up next? All right, Malik Washington, hey, he's currently the 48th, but he's been getting some points every week. Just sure and steady. Well, now with Tariq out, he's going to be called on a lot more, right? Tough game against at Carolina, but look for Malik Washington. I mean, he's going to get 6 or 7 touches in this game. So we'll see how he does with those touches. But, hey, he was getting those before, right? He's getting 5 before. Hey, he gets 6 or 7 touches now maybe. So watch for Malik Washington. Got to have some offense, So, hey, he might be a sneaker one to get in there if you're desperate and can't get anything else. Malik Washington. How about Slayton? All right, Slayton's, hey, he's going to step into the number 1 X receiver now with Slayton, or with probably Wandale playing the slot. So, Slayton, hey, he's been doing there. Hey, Nice, easy schedule for him too. So Slayton might be a one you try. 29th ranked this week. If he's probably available. People might have rushed out and taken him after the neighbor's injury, but hey, can you believe I got the two Philadelphias down here? All right. Well, they're 54th and 52nd on the year in scoring. They got two each targets last week. All right. So they just haven't been passing to them. And hey, you got to put them on there though. And they got a hard schedule at Denver at home, but they might do the conservative run game, right? That's opened up for them. Denver hasn't been stopping the run very good, so it's just going to turn into Barkley. But hey, you got to put them on there. That's a shot for both of those. And with the capital you got in them, you might be putting them in anyway, right? All right, I'm at 32 and 33. I got Diggs. Right, Diggs showed up a little bit last week, right? Got some yardage, still no touchdowns. If he could get a touchdown, that'd be something else. But at Buffalo this week, so hey, not great. Ladd McConkey, I just look at this. He's got not scoring. The other two have. You think, well, boy, it might be his week. He's 42nd in touches. He's getting 4 touches a week. It looks like. So hey, he's 64th. If you got him and you got to put him in, you might put him ahead of some of these other guys. He just hasn't been scoring. I don't know. Chris Godwin, he's back, and Jalen Waddle. So, hey, Godwin, hey, with Evans out, McMillan hurt, he come back this last week. 26 yards receiving. Maybe he plays a bigger game, but tough matchup at Seattle. All right, that's why I got him low here. I don't know what kind of game that's going to be. Waddle. With Hill out, maybe he'll get going here. Tough Carolina matchup. I even had that Malik Washington a little higher. I don't know. We'll see if Waddle can get going now that he's the number 1 there, right? J-Mo and T. Higgins. Boy, they're way down here, ain't they? You can see they're 32nd, 58th on the year. 3 targets last week. So they're not getting a lot of targets. Yeah, I've got down on him. Hey, he had that big week too, but he can't just get on target with Goff. Him and Goff just cannot make the connection. They're going to be winning that game, right? So I don't know how many deep shots they're going to be taking to J-Mo here when Gibbs and Montgomery have the 30th easy schedule. They're just going to be running the game out. So, how many deep shots are going to be taken? T. Higgins, boy, he just hasn't been getting it done here. He's 58th in scoring. That quarterback Burrow just really sunk his ship, right? How about Tolbert and Jerry Jeudy? I got next down here at 38 and 39, getting kind of deep here for Tolbert. But hey, Turpin is questionable with a foot. Of course, George Pickens here is going to be the primary source. So Tolbert might sneak in there and get some stuff with a nice, easy schedule. So, hey, 38th, that's about the last of you who want to play here. How about Jerry Jeudy? Boy, he's the number 1. There's nothing standing in his way except the team. Jerry Jeudy just hasn't been doing nothing. You got Cedric Tillman out, who's been getting some. Of course, these Fanning Jr., look, he's been scoring more probably. And Njoku, he's been getting the tight ends there. Of course, we're going to Dylan Gabriel. It could be his first game. So Jerry Jeudy, he just hasn't. 37th in targets. And, hey, that's a tough game, too. That's why he's way down there against Minnesota. So they're down there at the 40 and 41st. Just got 10 more on the list to get through. How about Hollywood Brown down here? Hey, you never know. 3 targets last week. Look at that. He did something with it. So he's always getting crowded there with now Worthy back. This Thornton they've been throwing to. I don't know. You never know. Heck, I got Juju coming up here, too. All right, 43. He getting his, look what he did last week. So you just don't know which one of those Chiefs receivers at Jacksonville, how much are they going to be needing to catch up either. Dude, they're going to be winning that game, right? So how about 41 and 42? I got Troy Franklin. Hey, he's been, set middle of the road schedule, Philly. Hey, he does show up. He's got 22 targets on the year. That's about 34th. Yeah, he's been scoring. If nothing else, you could probably get him going. How about Pierce? He's back from the concussion, right? He's still questionable, but he's been practicing, full practice on Thursday. I mean, this would be more getting him on your team for later because, hey, Pittman's been doing good while he's been out. But Pittman's hurt a little bit with his hamstring too. So if you find anything about that where Pittman's out and Pierce is in, get Pierce in. Move him up, right? Move him up the lineup a little bit. So Cooper Kupp's down here. Turpin, he would be higher on the list if he wasn't hurt, right? Got that questionable foot, so hey, he's way down here. Cooper Kupp, well, just questionable passing. They just ain't throwing to him, any right? So there we go. Turpin, Troy Horton, just a long shot every week. Didn't pay off last week. So he's down here. Marvin Mims and Christian Kirk, the bottom two from the list here. Christian Kirk's done nothing. Houston's done nothing to warrant even playing him. Mims is way down here. Showed up last week, but hey, this is he's got 14 touches on the year. That's 69th ranked at Philly. I don't know. And the last two I'll finish up with Calvin Ridley and Dortch. Hey, Dortch had 5 targets last week. If he wasn't hurt here, we might have him a little higher, but he's questionable with a collarbone. So that might help out the other Arizona receivers. Hey, Calvin Ridley ends at the bottom here. Just nothing. Right? You've been suffering through him on your team. You know you don't want to start him. Right? And, in matter of fact, he's hurt. Got him questionable. So, knee, did not practice. That's what's opening it up for. That's why I got Iomanor a little higher on the list here, right? Might open up some stuff for him. All right, well, that's my wide receiver rankings. Good luck on your teams and good luck on your week. Let's take a look at this.